Hi, I'm the Rick at Woodturners, and today's video is... Hi, I'm Rick Morris, and I'm here with two different chucks today. I've got a Record Power SC4 chuck, and I've got a Teknatool Supernova II. Now, a couple of months back, I did a video, and I was really looking mainly at the SC4, but I also included some other chucks to look at and see how they differed. A number of people had written comments on there that said, hey, that SC4 looks an awful lot like the Supernova II. Well, I have never used the Supernova II, and I've never had one, although I've got several of their G3 chucks and a couple of their, I forget what it's called, their mini chucks, and they're all good chucks. So anyhow, I got online, I looked at some pictures of the Supernova. Yeah, it does look similar. So I borrowed a Supernova II from a friend of mine. And this is it right here. And as you would guess from the labels, this is the SC4. What I'm going to do today is compare the two of them and see if they're really different. Well, after looking around online for quite a while, I dug up an early owner's manual for the SC4, and I say early because it's different than the one I got with the chuck. And I got an owner's manual for the Teknatool, and I was going through the one for the SC4, and I found this statement right here. And it says, specifically, the Record Power SC range is a completely new and exclusive system designed to improve, etc., etc. However, to minimize any redundancy for customers of our previously sold Record Power Nova Series G3 or Supernova II range, etc., etc. So, at some point in the past, Record Power apparently remarketed the G3 and Supernova II, or perhaps they licensed it from Teknatool and manufactured that themselves. I don't know. So, just from that statement there, you know, seems to indicate, well, there's probably a pretty good chance these are the same thing. There is another immediate similarity that's in the SC4 manual. Their new system, the SC4 and the SC3, have been designed so that they will match exactly the jaws of the Supernova and presumably the G3 chuck. And so that means you can use any Nova chuck on the SC4. Okay, well, that's kind of convenient, I would say, and maybe a little bit indicative they might really be the same thing or very close to the same design. Incidentally, before I go any further, let me mention Teknatool explicitly asked me to say in my earlier video, hey, don't use Teknatool jaws on any other chuck, and don't use any other chuck with Teknatool jaws, with Nova jaws. So I am going to take these jaws off, and I'll be right back. I have taken these jaws off. Incidentally, both of these are 50mm jaws. They look exactly the same, even the flanges and everything, but these are the jaws that came with the SC4, and these are the jaws that came with the Supernova. And taking them off, I noted that the jaw screws here are exactly the same. That is, they have the same threading, so you can interchange the screws. They have exactly the same hex hole there, which is a 5/32 inch. If we take the jaws from the Supernova, they fit perfectly onto the SC4. And the screws go down there just perfect, everything is fine. Now, Teknatool does mention in their owner's manual that Nova jaws 1 and 3 should be matched to jaw slides 1 and 3. However, jaw number 2 should be mounted on slide number 4, and jaw number 4 should be mounted on slide number 2. So we got the two chucks here, and one thing I noticed immediately, I don't know if it's significant or not, but you see right here, we've got the jaw slides for the SC4, and they are 5/8 of an inch, just a hair over 5/8 of an inch. The ones on the Supernova are right at 1/2 an inch. So is that significant? I don't know. As far as operation of it is concerned, I don't know if it is or not. It might make this one a little bit stronger. Then again, it really seems unlikely that thickness, but they are different. However, the length of these slides, this is 1 1/8 and 1/32 and 1/64. It's just a hair under 1 3/16 inches. If we look at the SC4 chuck here, that is just a hair over 1 3/16 inches. So minor difference there. Let's take a look at a couple of other things. The spindle insert for each one. Now you can see right away these look different. This is the one that came with my SC4, and it is definitely beefier than the one that came with the Supernova. Once again, is that significant? I don't know. But I have not been able to get this loose. Yeah, they both have a set screw that goes down into the body through this little hole right here. And on this one, through this little hole right here, there's a set screw that goes down in there and locks these in place. And I don't want to take that out because they can be a pain to get back in them correctly. So I'm going to leave that in. So there's a little bit of difference here. This particular insert does not have a locking screw for the thread spindle to lock this to the thread spindle so that you can turn in reverse. This one does. Now, the SC4 does come with the right thread spindle for that, and I don't have it, unfortunately. One other thing I might note, the Supernova II here, it's got a regular 1-2 hex shaped flats on the outside, and it just fits their tool like that so that you can use that. Fits very nicely, as you would expect. I'm not sure if this tool comes with the Supernova II. With the SC4, the kit I bought anyway comes with this, and it fits very nicely right into a couple of little holes drilled into this thread adapter, and allows you to grip it like that, and it's very handy, of course. Also, another minor difference, the SC4 comes with a faceplate, essentially set of jaws. You screw this down into the wood, and then it will use your 2-inch 50mm jaws, expand them right into here, and so you've got a faceplate in effect without having to throw a separate faceplate on there. That's kind of nice. Both of the chucks here come with what's called a woodworm screw, or just a wood mounting screw, whatever. They both have one of these. And they both come with tightening keys. And they're both hex tightening keys. So we look at this, the hex key for this, it looks the same as this one, but the Teknatool model, just a little bit different. Maybe a 1/2 inch, maybe not even that. So this one fits perfectly into there, rotates around back and forth like that. This one, into the Supernova, fits into its tightening location, and it moves around just like that. Now I'm going to take the Supernova key, put it in here, perfect. And I'm going to take the SC4 key, put it in here, works perfect. Essentially, even though one's a little bit longer, these are exactly the same. And I might mention, there's a little bit of looseness on both chucks and both keys, and that's basically allows you to move it like that and get a little bit of an angle on it. If you chop off that's kind of ball shape, then you have a straight insert and it fits very tight. or suitably tight anyway. I want to check the physical dimensions of this because they sure look similar or the same. Okay, this one is, let's see, 1, 2, 3 inches and 7/8 plus a 32nd. This one may be a 32nd inch less than that. So to me, for all intents and purposes, these are the same diameter. Now let's take this and measure it this way. All right, there I've got 1 7/8 and the 32nd. Right here I've got 1 7/8 and a 32nd. So they are the same there. Now I want to weigh them. Not that it really matters, but just as a matter of curiosity, going to put the Supernova on there first. Now remember, it's still got the chuck insert or the spindle insert in it, and they were a little bit different between these two, so they're not going to weigh exactly the same as my guess. So this is 1890, 1890 grams. That's a Supernova. The SC4, 1885 grams. So it's about 5 grams less for the SC4, and it's got a little bit larger, heftier thread insert, so the SC4 actually weighs a little bit different. Not a lot, but a little bit. Now I want to take a look at the interior of the two chucks. First of all, what we're looking at right here, these are printed from the owner's manuals. This is the parts list for the SC4, parts list for the Supernova. And when I look at these things, just looking at them, I don't see any difference at all. All the same parts seem to be there. So looking at these two diagrams, boy, they really look the same. Now, take a look at the back. Ah, yes, they both have a little plastic ring on the back, and you can use that for indexing if you want to. Now, it looks like the SC4 has probably 3 times as many indexing holes as the Supernova does. I haven't counted them, but that's what it looks like, all right. I am not going to try and take this apart. This one doesn't belong to me. This one does, but I don't really want to take it apart. The parts list show all the same parts. The pictures are exactly the same. So to take it apart, I'll have to take out the inserts. As I said, I don't really want to do that because they can be difficult to get back in. So I'm going to leave it at that. Let me see, a couple other things to look at. Is there any play here? Let's see, there's a little bit of looseness there. Now back and forth. There's a tiny bit more play in the Supernova back and forth this way than in the SC4. They both have a tiny bit of play. Not much though. Let's see, back and forth as in this direction. Nothing. Nothing. They both of them fit really tight, just like that. Let's talk about the price for these two. The Teknatool Supernova II on Amazon is selling for $130. The Record SC4 on Amazon is selling for, I think it was $170. The insert for the SC4 on Amazon was about $25. The insert for the Supernova is about $15, $16. So 130 plus 15, call it 145. 170 plus 25, you're getting almost up to 200 there, about 195, something like that. So this is more expensive, and it's questionable to me, looking at everything, that there's a real difference in them. Let's see. Supernova's got a little bit more rounded edge there than this one, but this one is still rounded. There's not much difference there. Let's see. Just grab this and that works nicely. And try it with this one. Seems to be a little bit of play in tightening these jaws. I don't think it would make much difference, but it does seem to be a little bit there. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, I guess as with all of the Teknatool jaws, when you spin the tightener right, the jaws expand. In the SC4, when you spin it right, the jaws contract. If you go by the rule of thumb for screws and bolts, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, this one's operating that way and this one's the opposite. I did read somewhere, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, that Teknatool did this because if you turn in reverse, it's sturdier that way. I don't know. That doesn't make sense, but you know, maybe there really is a reason. Maybe they know something I don't, which would not be surprising. Okay, so my conclusion, looking at these two side by side, is that you know, if they're not the same chuck, maybe Record Power licensed the design from Supernova, from Teknatool, and made some improvements on it perhaps, or something along those lines. If I were trying to decide which one of these chucks to buy, the SC4 or the Supernova II, I think they're both great chucks. They're not identical, but boy, they're really close. I would make my decision based on price. If you look on Amazon, right at this moment, they've got the Supernova II for about $50 less than what you pay for the SC4. So take that into consideration. All right. That's all I have for now. See you next video.